Eyewitness News, a day after President Trump and Democratic leaders pointed fingers over who is to blame, many just want the government shutdown to end. And as Channel 3 New Haven Bureau Chief Matt McFarland shows us, plenty of people are making their voices heard.
Connecticut's congressional delegation says they're getting plenty of calls and emails regarding the wall and the shutdown, and it appears everyone has an opinion.
I don't think anything's going to happen. I think it's just going to keep going.
For the lunchtime crowd at Georgie's Diner in West Haven, the food hits the spot. But when asked about the government shutdown, just thinking about it can give folks heartburn.
I think it's going to drag out for a while until they come to their senses and realize if people aren't working, they need to be paid.
Others like Louie like President Trump's plan for a wall along the southern border.
My main concern as an American, we need border security, no matter what. So both parties, it's just going to have to come to an agreement.
But that's easier said than done. President Trump, who campaigned saying Mexico would pay for it, says the wall is needed for what he's calling a national security and humanitarian crisis, and now won't accept a deal to reopen the government without funding for it.
Democrats in Congress have refused to acknowledge the crisis, and they have refused to provide our brave border agents with the tools they desperately need to protect our families and our nation.
The president says he walked out of a meeting with Democratic leaders today after they once again refused to budge on a wall. This morning on the Senate floor, Senator Chris Murphy called on Senate Republicans to end the partial shutdown.
Open the government, pass the bills that we passed back in December. Don't let the president dictate your votes.
With the government shutdown, Murphy's office says they've received 700 emails and phone calls this week. Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro tells Eyewitness News she's getting those calls and emails too. Quote, the vast majority of people calling my New Haven and Washington offices want this shutdown to end and for Democrats to continue down the path we are on to reopen the government. And those with Senator Richard Blumenthal's office say their locations in D.C. and Connecticut have experienced an uptick in calls reflecting diverse opinions, which they say is typical the day after a presidential address.
Let's reopen the government so that then we can have a discussion about the question of immigration law and border security, because I'm more than willing to have it.
Another person who didn't want to go on TV told me he doesn't care about the politics or the positioning for 2020. He says simply, they just need to get it done. With the mobile newsroom in New Haven, Matt McFarland, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.